Well, hey, friends, welcome back to the podcast. I have a special guest today. Hello, special guest.
Oh,
Uh,
how many podcasts do you have to be on before you're no longer a special guest?
for your just special.
Just for, I was
Well,
going to say just a guest, but
I feel like everybody at this point should know you, but perhaps not. If you don't, this is Nell Storts, everyone, who is Director of Operations here at Team Allwood. She's actually at the home of Mackenzie Burke, who's here. Where is Mackenzie? We should make her make the special appearance.
oh, she just left.
She left the room. Oh, disappointing. People are going to be disappointed. I'm excited to have this podcast with you guys today, and I'm excited that Nell's going to be here with me because Nell is the tech expert between the two of us. Nell is the one who understands all things techie, software-y, marketing, etc. And I asked her if she would come on the podcast with me today to talk about Equip 360, which is the software that we launched almost a year ago.
Yep.
Here at Team Allwood, we have close to 500 users. The majority of them female now. They are, right? I mean, we have.
Oh, I mean, there's always like 2 or 3 guys that sneak their way
Yes.
into, but yes, the majority of them are female.
They're brave. They're brave men. The guys that'll come in. But we built Equip 360, or we didn't build it, but we paid other people to build it on a base software that has over 1 million users. So essentially, we were paying someone to customize that software, add templates that would be appropriate for our clients, and have US-based support. And now that we are almost a year in, we really want to talk to my audience more about the software that we have developed, because Nell and I have been having conversations just about how important it is in the year 2024 to be focused on your marketing, to make sure that you have software that you are needing or that you're using and using appropriately, but that you're not paying for a whole bunch of things that you actually don't need. Right. And so I asked Nell if she would come on today and we can talk to you about Equip 360. This is a really perfect fit for some of you for your marketing needs. And so yeah, thanks for coming on today. I appreciate you. So I thought we'd start out just by telling people why we even decided to launch a software anyway, because everyone knows I have a very creative brain. I'm more the creative. And so software may feel kind of like incongruent, but the truth is we were working with a coach. We were in a mastermind with somebody who's like, Jennifer, what are most of your clients needing? And you and I were saying, well, a lot of our clients are kind of like me in that they're creative. So they need help with the techie stuff, or maybe they have some tech abilities, but they don't have the time to do it all. So what they really need is help with software. What software do they need? And help getting their email list set up, and help with the landing page. And, and then the ability to hire somebody to do it. And he was like, well, why aren't you providing software for them? Remember that whole conversation?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what?
We can do that.
What? It seems like 10 years ago now, but because it took us maybe a year to get the software ready after that conversation. Remind me of the whole time frame now, because it feels like a lifetime ago.
Like we've jumped in. So it was like last spring.
We did.
It was like maybe 4 or 5 months. And then there was some testing. There was a lot of testing, and we did have someone come and help us, but it turns out that we know our clients the best. And so we've done a lot of the building in there ourselves, and a lot of the, creation of things, just because we know who we work with the most. But I think it was mostly built out of frustration, I think, from 2 ends, like frustration of our clients, right? Who are frustrated with like what to do and how to do it. And then frustration from us, because we're like, okay, you could use this software or this software, or you could use these 2 things and put them together like this. And then it's like, how do we support people who are using 20 different platforms? And so everyone was frustrated, and it's like, this is a problem we can solve.
This is a problem we can solve. There was definitely an opportunity in the market. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, how do I phrase this in a way that doesn't sound sexist? But sometimes I think women are unopposed to working with women when it comes to things like this, because our minds just work a little bit differently, and we want things that are pretty, and we, you know what I mean? And so I think that we sensed the frustration of our clients. We saw an opportunity in the market. We were working with someone who said, hey, this is what you could do to provide an answer. And it did take a lot of time. It did take a lot of money and effort, but I feel like after having it now for almost a year, we have really worked out a lot of the kinks, and I really want to talk about the software more. So if we talk about Equip 360, and by the way, now they can go to equipped360.com, right? We do have a special for you at the end though, but if you're already like, let me just go take a peek at it, that's where it's at. But when we were thinking about customizing the software, we were thinking about how do we do it for, women who may be like me and are not super techie, women who are confused about what they need. Maybe they don't even know what they need. How can we make sure we get everything in one place for them? So like one log on, one sign in. How do we make sure that we're able to help them maybe cancel a bunch of, softwares that they're not using? Remember, I told a story about a friend of mine who went into the subscription parts of her iPhone one day. She's a business friend of mine, and she was paying, was it $1,200 a month in subscriptions to things she was not using?
Right.
And I was like, that is a ton of money. But sometimes we sign, I mean, I'm guilty of that too now. I sign up for things and I think, oh, I'm going to use this for my business. And then I never do. So in us, creating a software, we were really able to help people be able to cut some of their expenses and help them figure out what they don't need too.
I was just doing a little math in my head. And I think even just for us internally, because we use our own software now, obviously, I think we are close to $1,500 a month that we canceled in other software.
Are you serious?
Yeah. By switching to ours. And it's taken a little time, and I'll talk about that in a little bit about moving over, because we've moved almost over everything. And we have like 2 more platforms that we're still almost done with. By the time we've moved everything, we'll be, be saving just internally that much money.
And that could be a good question for us to talk about too, whether now or later in the podcast or on another one, about what types of things we have been able to cancel and what other people who are using Equip 360 are able to cancel. So, and I wanted to just address right off the bat that, Nell, I know that you used to have an aversion to like an all-in-one software type of thing. And will you talk to that just a little bit about why you were not a fan, but what has changed your mind?
Yes, 100%. Because if you listen to me on trainings, like from years ago, I always used to say, like, when you buy a kitchen appliance and it's supposed to like make rice and hard boil eggs and be an air fryer and all these things, it doesn't do any of them really well. It kind of just does everything okay, like a mile wide and inch deep. And that's what a lot of all-in-one software still on the market today do. They actually were really good at one thing. And then in order to like grow their market share, they started adding on things that they weren't really good at. They were just like little pieces of, and I don't, and so I would never recommend them. I was always like, nope, you need separate tools. But the problem with separate tools is then you have to make them all talk to each other and you have to all work together. But I couldn't find a really solid all-in-one platform that I felt really good promoting, that did everything well and wasn't just like a patch job, like just
like an add-on, like an afterthought.
Yes, like an afterthought. And so that is why in Equip 360, it's not just like only an email and then we just added on, course and website, or only a website and we just kind of tacked on these. It has equal attention given to all the features it does. So really, when I say all in one, like you can run your entire business from it, for everything from website to email to text to landing pages to CRM, all of it, to taking money. And then it does all of those things well. None of them are just like an afterthought. And so that's why I've changed my tune, is because it turns out that all-in-one softwares, especially right now when they have to all talk to each other and integrate together, they can be really good if they all work together and if they're all high quality features, which are good.
So the let's talk about who like this software would be best for based on, the components that it has with it, because some of the major things that it does is it can create your landing page, it can create your website, it will email your customers, you can schedule your social media, there's calendars for you if you're somebody that takes calls with clients, for coaching and things, you can do that. So are those the types of, those are like the major features I think that most people are signing up for, am I right?
So the most people that it helps. So anyone that's doing any kind of coaching service, like any kind of online service or even in-person service-based business, it's great for that. Any kind of coaching, teaching, if you have a course, membership, any of those things. If you are an author, podcaster, anything in that area, it's really great. If you are selling digital products, awesome. Even physical products, pretty much the only like caveat that I say, if you are a full-on physical product business, meaning like you have
hundreds of products,
hundreds of products, like you're doing, you're selling paint and you have, multiple different kinds and colors and variations and all of those things. And you are already like knee deep in a Shopify store or an e-commerce store. I would stay there for your store. Now you can still do everything else inside of Equipped, but we have a ton of people who keep their Shopify store, and we can integrate Shopify store in your Equipped account. But then everything else, they're emailing, they're doing all their other landing pages, everything else is in Equipped. But that's pretty much the only one that I'm like, no, but if you're just starting and you're shipping things and doing products and you're not, in hundreds and hundreds of products in, it can definitely work for you. It's just, as I want to be always truthful and really, I'm not going to say it's better than Shopify. It is not better than Shopify. So in that one piece, in that product piece. So everywhere else, I will say it matches. So like if you're using Kajabi, it has course and membership. I would say is even better than Kajabi because it has a communities feature. If you're using like, ConvertKit or whatever, MailChimp to email, it's on par or better than that because we have some other like special emailing features that other places don't have. So all other features, I say it's on par or better than kind of what else is on the market.
Perfect. So in the year 2024, everybody needs to have an email list. I think that I was looking to see what's the last episode I did talking about email lists. I'm going to have to maybe just keep glancing at that, but I think everybody has heard me, like, haven't they at this point, like heard me just talk about that until I'm blue in the face. So you have to have started an email list for your business. And you need to be growing your email list by having like a freebie for people to sign up for, and you need to be nurturing that email list. And so this means you need like a landing page to get the email addresses. You need a way to send emails. And let's talk about that just real quick now, and these are all things Equip 360 does, but there are more rules and regulations than ever before when it comes to sending out emails. Am I right? Do you want to speak to that and why Equip is so good in that regard?
Gone are the days where you can just like send emails from a free, like at gmail.com or at hotmail.com, like that you can't do. There's, and besides just the rules of, you have to have an unsubscribe, you have to have all of these options. There's also like tech things about certain DNS records you need in order for your emails to be delivered. Because what you don't want to do, like we spent all this time growing an email list, learning how to attract emails, but you want the emails to actually go into people's inboxes. And so if you're not doing the things right, as far as, how you're sending things on the back end, you might be sending all these emails and no one is receiving them because, now Yahoo and Hotmail and Gmail can say, nope, we're not going to let that in if you're not doing it right. So you need a system that not only has the capabilities, but can also do all of the back end pieces to make sure that it's all working right. So that's what we do inside of Equipped. And then I think one other thing that I wanted to mention is, and this is, CRM is contact record management. And it's like all the details about your clients, and people want to be seen and feel like and heard. And that's where you need to know, like, it's nice if you know people's birthdays, so you can send them birthday things or
coupons. And yes, I love it when it is my birthday week.
Right. It is your birthday week. And so people want to know, like, feel like a person, right? And so when like already what they've purchased in the past, so like, hey, I know that you bought this top in red and now you want to buy, I would love to offer it in green or whatever, all kind of things. You need to be able to know things about your clients, and that's where a really good CRM comes in. That you can keep notes of stuff, you can keep records, you can track where they came from, where their purchases. That's all part of like the up and coming marketing technology of 2024 is you need to have those details that you can use and reference when you're marketing to people.
And in addition to that, inside of Equip 360, you can also text your clients, which I know Jason is just starting, like with Fairway Finest. He's like, I want to, start gathering their phone numbers to be able to text people. And so that also, by the way, though, has a lot of new rules with it. And so you do need a software like Equip 360 that can support you in that process. Am I right? And let me just say this, texting, like, so if you have one software to email, one software to text, that is the price of this software every single month. It's way over this, you know what I'm saying? Like from the very get-go, because the texting can get really pricey. But you want to be using something that is able to do that for you. So all of you need to make sure that you have a landing page, that you have a sales page, that you have a website, because in 2024, you have to have that to legitimize your business. I'm guessing some of the people who are listening now, they've got maybe a website started, but it's like 5 years old. It really needs a refresh. It needs a whatever. So talk to that person, because obviously we can build from scratch everything in Equip 360. But what about somebody that's already started a website or has a landing page? It's, 4 or 5 years old. It's ugly. What do you suggest they do? Are they able to transfer things over? Or do we just usually kind of start from scratch?
Yeah, it really, there's a couple of options. So let me kind of walk through them. First, I do want to say not everyone has to have a website day one, because some think that's one of those things that people are like when they're starting a business or just getting going, like I have to have a website, and it holds people back. Eventually you need a website. You need a way for people to like legitimize, learn about your business. It legitimizes your business, but you can have a sales page or a landing page to start, meaning you can have a page that just says, hey, here's what I offer and here's how you can buy it, without having like a full multi-page navigation.
Yes.
All of that you can do inside of Equip. So sometimes what we do is we take people's current websites and we just move them over. We'll take everything that they've got and we can rebuild it pretty quickly, pretty easily. Sometimes it's ready to start fresh, right? Like you might have had a website, like you said, for 5 years, and maybe there's, you've changed your avatar, you've changed your language, you've changed who you work with, all of those things, and it's time to completely start fresh. So we do that. And then the last option is sometimes there are sites that people have that are really good and they are built somewhere else. They just need all the other tools. So even for us as a company, your website is still on WordPress. So jenniferallwood.com is still a WordPress website that has like, how many years? 97 years of blogging? I don't know.
Since Ava, before Ava was born, she's going to be 17. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? I mean,
so it's a lot of blogging on there.
A lot of data on
that
there.
We did not move over. So our website is still a WordPress site, but literally every other piece of the business inside of Equip.
Yes.
So those are some different options for how people want to do it. We can rebuild your website. You can start from scratch. You can start with a landing page or sales page, or you can leave your website where it is and do everything else inside of Equip, depending on kind of where you are in your business.
Yeah. It also, Equip 360 is a great place to house your course. Or a membership. So for those of you that have a course, you have a membership, you want to start one before the end of the year. And that is another way that people are really saving some money with using our software, because otherwise you're placing things out on Teachable, you're putting them out on Kajabi. So then you've got Kajabi and you've got Slick Text and you've got, where you're paying for a landing page over here, and everything's spread out, everything's separate logins, everything's separate costs, and all of that adds up. And so so those are some of the main features, I would say, of Equip 360. Would you agree, Nell? So
yeah,
your landing page, your website, your emailing, your texting, a place to put a web or your course or your membership. You can also schedule all of your social media in there for Instagram, Facebook. Is it just the two of those? Because I'm not
Pinterest, TikTok,
okay, and TikTok.
Yep. We just added some new, Pinterest is newly added. So there's some new features in there that you can do as well. And then one more thing that I want, well, first I have to correct myself. I said a while ago, contact record management, it's customer relationship management.
As soon as you said that, I'm like, why do I always think that it's customer? But then I thought, no, you say customer, I say contact. Right?
Yeah. So it is customer relationship management. I couldn't let myself go. So CRM, the official customer relationship, it's managing the relationship with customers. Okay. But my last thing is that because, it wouldn't be me if I don't talk about numbers just a little bit, the former math teacher. So one of the other things that's so important is knowing how things are working, because you don't want to spend all this time on sending emails or creating sales pages if you don't know if it's actually getting the clients you need it to, or if it's actually getting delivered. And so those kind of statistics, being able to find those easily and know what they mean is really important. And so that is, of course, all inside of Equipped. It's the number of times, Jen, think about the times that we've been on calls with clients and we're like, hey, so what is your email open rate? And people are like, I don't know. How many clicks have you gotten? I don't know. What's the conversion rate on your sales page? I don't know. And so you need to be able to know those things, especially if you're running ads, because there's a lot of integrations we can do with your Equipped account and ads and all kind of stuff. But being able to know those numbers and find that information easily. So all emails, you can easily track like how many people opened it, how many people did it get delivered to, that kind of thing. All your sales pages and email opt-in pages, it's very easy. There's one screen. It's like, this is how many people landed. This is how many people purchased. This is your conversion rate. It does all the math for you. And so even though you might not love those numbers or having to find them, it's definitely easier when they're there for you without you having to like, go to Google Analytics to find this, and then go over here and have to do math. And so knowing those numbers just help you grow in your marketing. So when we're talking about marketing, like we said, in 2024, you need to be able to know those kind of things, and all of that you can find in Equipped.
Okay, so if we have women listening here right now who are like, okay, I know I need a website. I know I need, a texting list. I have 10 people, on a email list already. I probably could just start new or move them over. But the idea of that kind of breaks them out in hives because they're not techie. Can you tell them about how we can do those things for them with Business? Okay.
Yeah. So we have the whole spectrum of support. So anywhere from, I just want someone that I can ask questions to as I go, all the way through, I want someone to set it all up for me. We can do that for you. So we have
that would be me. That would be me who's like, just take my money and set everything up for me. And how long, by the way, have we had Businesses? This is a virtual assistant agency that we have had.
I think we're at
3 years.
in our 3rd year.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. We've had it for 3 years. It's a team of virtual assistants who can set all of these things up for you. Because there are some of you who are listening who are like, I know that I need some of this tech stuff. I just don't even have remotely the brain space or capacity to set it up myself. So if that's the situation, we have people that can do it for you. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So, because we have like office hours where if you're doing things yourself, or if you just have questions, you come onto a Zoom call, we pull you up, we answer your questions. So we have those kind of things. We have support where you can text in questions, you can email in, all those kind of normal support. And then like Jen's saying, we have all the way to, we can get on a Voxer channel with you. Then it's like, hey, we're going to set up your domain. We're going to set up your email address. So it can be you can do pieces. We can do all of it. We can rebuild websites. We can set up landing pages. We do a lot of email opt-ins beginning to end. So you just say, hey, here's what I want my email opt-in to be about. You give us the content, we can create it, create the landing page, make it all connect. So we can do all of those things. And we have a variety of different ways in which you can work with us in that.
Yeah. I just want to publicly say thank you now, because I know this is not on our notes, but you have busted your ass to make this really work and to work really well. And so seriously, thank you, because you are the techie person here, and I'm just the girl who's like, all these women need help. No, how can we help them? And so for the people that are listening today, they can go to equipped360.com, and Equipped is spelled EQUIPT. Do you remember how we came up with the name? Like, what was it, almost 2 years ago? Because I had a conference at one time called Equipped, which came from that Bible scripture of equipping the saints. And I love how that just like, so if you're trying to think now, what's Jen's software called again? It's Equipped 360. You can go right back and think about that scripture of equipping the saints. But we want to make sure that for those of you that listen to the podcast, that we also give you some sort of a break on pricing. So Nell, tell them where to go, what code to use. And
so the pricing is $197 a month, like the public forward-facing pricing is $197 a month. But we have a coupon code that is $50 off. So if you use that, the code is Insider. So it gives you $50 off the first month. For every month, $50 off every month. So $147 would be your monthly price. So the coupon code is Insider. Go to equipped360.com and use the code Insider.
Perfect. And then hopefully if you're using other softwares, you're able to cancel some of them. So a lot of times it's a wash, or people end up using our software and it's actually, they are keeping more money every month than when they were not. So, yeah, go to Equipped, that's EQUIPT 360.com. Use that code Insider. And thanks for being here, Nell. I am so excited just about the software, about the fact that we have businesses who can help set everything up for people, because I know that this is the stumbling block for a lot of women in building and growing and scaling their businesses. They have great ideas. They have great talents that God has given them on the side of heaven. They want to use them. They feel like they're supposed to be using them, and they get stuck on all of these things. So let us and my team do this for you so that you can really focus on the things that God's got for you.
And we're really good at it at this point. I was just one more note about especially if you're scared of hiring a VA or working with someone, sometimes it's like, will they know my software? Will they know this? And how will we all work together? And we have honed it down now. We're getting really systemized in our processes. We've done these things for literally hundreds of people, like setting up their email, setting up their text. And so because all of our VAs are trained on this software and we're all using the same place, everything moves much faster than if you're, just kind of hiring a VA out of nowhere using all kinds of different software. So the process is really systemized and honed in. And so it doesn't take near as long as you might think it will, or cost as much as I heard a quote from someone today that they got a quote for $20,000 to do their website.
I mean, that is insane. There is no
gonna take 3
reason
months.
to spend that
Mhm.
kind of money, not
Not at
even
all, not at
remotely.
all, not even close.
Not
So
even remotely.
don't
And so,
be-
and we have really solved the problem also of, you know, sometimes there's a lot of VAs that are in other countries who can do things for a much lesser price sometimes, but there's a language barrier. There's, so, you know, such a different time, like, they're in different time zones, and it's, and so you have really figured out the process. And so thank you for that. So, all right, friends, well, I hope this podcast episode was useful for you today. If you are already using Equip 360, forward this to a couple of your friends who are just starting a business or who have started, but you know, their stuff's a little bit janky and they really need some help. Forward this podcast episode to them. And if you have any questions, you can let us know on YouTube, send me a DM on Instagram. We'll try to get those answered for you. And in the meantime, we will hope to see you on the next episode. Nell, thank you for being here.
Of course, anytime. Bye, guys.
Friends. Bye-bye.